Yeah, we might as well go live. Welcome to Tuesday at Two Lines. What's up, fellas? Yeah, we might as well get started. The chat is crazy. There's like 20 plus people waiting for the live stream to start. That's awesome. Too much fun. So, guys, how's your Tuesday going? I think I'm going to need a little coffee. So I brewed some fresh roast coffee. Went with the iced coffee. So, hey, George. What's up? Hopefully everybody's doing well. Oh, man. There's a bunch of people out here. Bunch of people. So, yeah, let's see what we can get into tonight. Great live stream last night. It was fantastic. Raul did an awesome job as always. It was fun to talk about what has happened the first 6 months of the year and maybe what we hope to see coming up. So, who all do we have? We have Area 51. Thanks, George, for tuning in. Chris, welcome. Welcome. 3 Bean Raceway. Scott Marble. Glad to have you, Scott. Dave, good morning. It's past your bedtime. Hopefully you are off tomorrow. Hey, Daryl, welcome. Who else we have? Hey, Dusty. Oh, he said he'd be back in a bit. So, let's see. 3 Bean. Hey, Slot Car Dojo. What's up, coffee? That's right. It's good stuff. So I have an espresso machine. Some of you may have seen that video where I show me making some, grinding some of my favorite roast beans, and it's kind of a science. I enjoy that. It's another hobby. Had a conversation today with John Albright. John in here? That's right. John, it's lack of content. That's right. I'm just sucking up all the oxygen. But my conversation with John today about coffee took me down the path of looking at espresso machines at the end of the workday. I closed up shop and sat there in my office for 15 minutes before I headed home, checking out some espresso machines. I'm due for an upgrade. Who had hair gel in the hat or hair gel sweepstake? Hey, Cyberg, welcome. I don't know, guys. What's going on in the slot car world tonight? I'm looking around, and I did get a package today. It was something a subscriber sent me, and we had a great conversation, and I'll get it out here in a minute. Take a look at it. But this, I really need to break this fat turbo open again and put the wing on it, get it tuned up, get it out on the track. It looks really, really good. Cool with a K. 2 Lines live stream. Cool with a K. You do you, man. No judgment here. You do you. Hey, Monty. Welcome. Hey, Steve. I know, I went early. There were so many people waiting. It was like, why wait till 8? I'm 5 minutes early. So we'll jump on and get started. Kick this off right. Hey, Jeff G. Welcome. Slot Journal. Slot Journal, shout out to you. I had a cup of coffee last night, poured some latte art that looked okay in the mug. So that was fun. Hey, Steve. Steve, how'd the race go Saturday? Dude, I wanted to be there so bad, but it was probably a good thing that I didn't go. I ended up having to go to the theater early. We were having a couple of mic issues that creeped back in on Sunday. But yeah, I really missed racing. There was an endurance race at Butch's track on Saturday, and wanted to go, and I didn't get to. Yeah, take care, man. Wild man, good to have you back. Yeah, DeFingers is on. Gloria, ladies in the house. That's right. So Gloria and DeFingers are watching. So welcome. I'll try not to disappoint Gloria, but I appreciate it. You're helping my female subscriber count move up to 4, I think, now. Hey, Robert. Welcome, man. Let's see here. What else we have? Hey, Curvy. Welcome. Curvy redesigned his layout a little bit this past week. How's that working out for you, man? Let's see. What else we have going on? Johnny Pro, welcome. Maybe by proxy. Race was great. Great to see Daryl and the guys. I know, man. That was what I missed the most. I was hoping to catch up with some guys. So how'd you do? Hey, Raul. Welcome. Yeah, I think you're right, Dusty. Yeah, rumor has it, John. Yeah, he was having technical difficulties, and Gloria is bailing him out tonight. Hey, Gary, welcome. Well, yeah, so video, talked about the pink pig. Lots of people got that car last week. Great car, a lot of fun. It drives really, really well. And I personally think that would be fantastic with a light kit. So, not that I want to pull the light kit out of the Hexcel, but it would look really good in that 917. I don't know. What do you guys think? It's fun in that Group C car, though. So, yeah. John Mark Hall is in the house. Hey, John Tucci is in the house as well. Yeah, John Mark was going to come over and race some slot cars. He was going to actually help me move some furniture that my wife got this past week. But they were not open, so we couldn't pick it up. Yes, Steve, that's what I found as I was a lost ball in high weeds. I was good. I was better on the inside lane, but the outside lane, it was a mess. Yeah. Hey, Gene. Welcome. Where's Chris? Chris, I do have a second light kit. And this light kit has the exhaust and braking. So, but if you guys went out to Slot Car Corner, you saw that they actually have light kits. Slot R, the new SRC light kits coming soon, apparently, although I don't know anything about them. Yeah, so, Dave, I think a lot of SRC, I think this has been a popular car for SRC. And I really think that them building a light kit is really for that car because they believe that car is going to be a popular car in endurance racing. And I would agree. It's really quick. It's fast. It performs well. It handles great on my track. So I would not be surprised if that's the reason why they're building the light kits so that they can easily start shipping them with those cars or selling them aftermarket. But hey, Patrick, welcome. But it'd be interesting to see what those light kits. They're all easy to install. I don't know, Steve. Have you installed yours on any car? It's hard to decide when you just which car to put them in. Motor power has to match the car and the handout tires. Yeah. Yeah, that would have been different. Getting handout tires. I was kind of hoping that that might even the field up a little bit for that race. Um, Ancient Vacuum. I want this. What is that? What do you want? Yeah, man, Raul, it was a great time. I really enjoyed that conversation. Um, Thanks for hosting. Will mention it again. Always try to practice on the toughest lanes first. Yeah, 20. Steve, the 25K was just too much for the handouts. Oh, so did everybody struggle with grip? So if you would have had like a 22.5 or even went back to the stock motor, you may have. Did you run your 908, your NSR? Is that what you ended up driving? Yeah, that would definitely. Yeah, I agree. I think I don't know. Are any of you out there in the chat endurance racers? Do you race a lot at a club that has done handout tires? Um, you really don't have time to do any tire prep, and they Butch runs silicones, so they think it were quick slicks that they handed out. So no real truing going on. So yeah, I would think that would. Hey, Gladstone. Yeah, George's video today is fantastic. I agree, Gladstone. Gerardo, welcome. Slot spot. Gerardo, I need to go out and follow you. I'll do that after tonight's live stream. I forgot. I was distracted last night after I was distracted by the home run contest. So yeah, I think that the talent of racers at that race was super high as usual. Yeah, there's a lot of guys that have a lot of laps in on that track. I mean, one, you're competing against Butch, who has the most laps. It's his track. He built it. And guys, there, if you are interested in watching a wood track build happen on Home Racing World's forum, Butch has. I'm trying to remember what his name is out there, but he chronicled that whole track build, and it's amazing. It is a fantastic track. I love racing on it. It does make me want to build a wood track, but I don't have enough space. I still want to build a 4 or 6 lane polycar track. Has anybody paid? Travis said something about it in his video. Electric Dreams is building a 6 lane polycar track to go with their wood track. So it'd be interesting to see if they run the slotted USA Nationals on that track or on their regular track. I have not heard that. Marco doesn't even know who I am, so he would have no reason to be on this live stream. But it would be interesting to talk to him about what the plan is for that track. So the layout looks really good. And Dusty and I were talking today, that layout that they're building in Electric Dreams, if you haven't seen it, if you just go to their Facebook page, I think they've been tagged in some posts. Some guys have taken pictures. It is a very, I feel like when you see polycar tracks, a lot of them are in Europe and in Italy and, just over in Europe. And the European track design is a lot different than what we usually design here in the States. Although Slot R, I feel like Dave's layout is very American because it flows really, really well. But I feel like the European Nationals and the NSR, those tracks have a lot of 90-degree turns, just a lot of 90-degree turns, and they're sprawling. It takes 10 people to marshal, and I think in the States, we go for more round turns, more flow, less braking, so maybe a little less technical, maybe a little more speed. I don't know. Maybe I don't know anything about what I'm talking about, which is probably true. But Dusty and I were talking about how that polycar, it was cool to see a polycar track that feels very American. It feels like my layout. it feels like a real flowy polycar track. So I thought it looks good. When were Carrera tires last good? Probably when I put super tires on a Carrera car. I still maintain if you take the mag out of a Carrera BMW and drive it on the stock tires and make laps, then you can drive anything. Yeah, you're probably right, Slaughter. I think if you take magnets out of a Carrera car, any Carrera car, and you can get it around the track pretty quick. 3 being your polycar track build is getting close. The table's built. That's fantastic. Hey, grandson of man, welcome. Johnny Hobby has some tire discussions today. Food for thought. Carrera tires are good. Oh, there's probably not a lot of people. It's under the lumberyard thread, and thanks, George. I knew you'd know. It's a fantastic thread to follow. Just great time. Yeah, Steve, I will definitely try not to miss the next one for sure. I need to send Butch a message. De Leon, just in time. You're fine, man. Mine is still at standstill. Been back on Carrera instead of Poly. All year track. Europeans, I feel, are way more slot car people. That's you're probably right. I mean, it seems to be still very popular over there, and the fact that the space is so confined compared to the States, that makes it feel maybe a little more popular in my mind. Everybody's so close there. Electrical cleaner spray, or hook it up to a power supply and drop in some water for a few, then clean and lube. Oh, are we talking about motor break-in? I missed that. Lego Mike, hey, welcome. Hey, I came in as Marty was saying he's buying a bigger house. I do not need a bigger house. My house is an old house, which means that it's got enough square footage. I mean, honestly, I have 2 more rooms down here in this basement that I could put smaller tracks in. And actually, there's probably room for 1 more track from the edge of this table over here. I could probably put a 12, 15 foot by 8 or 10 foot track. Yeah. So I have plenty of room, Lego Mike. Don't you worry. Those Euro tracks mimic realistic tracks. That's a great point, De Leon. You're right. They probably think about tracks like the Nürburgring and Le Mans and those classic tracks, and they try to mimic those shapes. So that makes sense. Yeah. Yeah, they don't do much oval over there. So, Monty, you're hoping to attend the event at Electric Dreams. Yeah, that would be a fun trip. It's in August. I don't think there's any way that I could get out to California. Travis sent me a message and asked me if I was going to go out there. That we'd have a chance to maybe meet up. Maybe it was actually a comment on one of my videos. Or on one of his videos. But that would be fun. I just don't know that I can make it happen. I don't know, explain to my wife, hey, I'm going to go to a slot car race in California. I'm going to go spend about $1,500. I'd rather spend that money on slot cars stuff. So, but if you're close, definitely. The one thing is they will be live streaming that, I'm sure. They did last year. And so I'll probably spend 2 days in and out of that live stream while they practice and do everything. Hey, DNA. Welcome, man. Hey, Sean Casey. Our scale speeds of slot cars are 3 times that of reality racing. Sometimes technical is good. Yeah, Sean, that's a great point. Yeah, there's no I don't have a problem with those tracks. I would love to race on them. It'd be fun. I don't mind a technical track, but if you're in that inside lane and it's a hard 90-degree turn, that's a tight turn, man. You're on the brakes, and that's such an advantage to those middle lanes. And a lot of them don't have even lane length either. A lot of them don't. They don't have bridges or overpasses or underpasses. And there's a lot of those layouts that they run those big races on. So, and they're big tracks, like really big tracks. I don't know, probably close to 200 feet lane length. Some of them that I've seen, at least that's what it looks like. Dusty looked at his track in the box today. Yeah, there you go, Dust. You're getting closer. At least you looked at it. Let's see. I had two 908s with a 25K and one with a 21.5, and I raced the 21.5 at the last minute. Just couldn't keep the 25K in the slot. Yeah, that was probably smart. So did that probably prevented you from beating the fast guys, but probably kept you in the middle of the pack, maybe, Steve? I don't know. We haven't talked about it. I don't know where you finished, but yeah, that makes sense. I think that's what I would do. I think that was what killed me in the night race. Greg, I don't know if he's on here, builds a really fast car, and I just couldn't handle it. I just wasn't prepared for the speed in the dark. In the daylight, I probably still would have come out of the slot a lot, but I would have had a much better shot at keeping it in the slot. But it's tough. Yeah, those big 25K motors on that track, they're fast. Let's see, what else do we have? Keep trying, brother. Keep trying. In Europe, people can't have home tracks, so clubs are big. Yeah, they probably just don't have the space for it, right? In the United States, we have a lot of houses with basements. I think that's a very American thing. I'm not sure that happens a lot in overseas. So that would make sense that you just don't have the space for it. So clubs are still popular. Yeah. I would love to see the club scene really make a comeback here in the States. I really, if I could find cheap rental space, my hometown would have a club for sure. But I don't have a big enough public space. This room is kind of too small, too tight to do that in. We get 5 or 6 people in here, and this room feels full, gets busy. It's just a little narrow, this room. Now, there's other space, so I've got plenty of pit area space, but around the track, it's kind of tight. So I can't really host things, big events here. Small events, maybe. I've done one race day. What else do we have? Hey, Slot Car Daddy, welcome. Marty, Dusty's comment was for bird poop in an NSR motor. Trashed it. Got it. Yeah, contact cleaner. That's probably your best bet. Clean that thing out. Ancient tour of my track. Okay. Yeah, I can give you a tour of my track. I've got a video out there. When I finish this layout, it's probably back in April of this year. That is kind of a walkthrough of that track. But yeah, I don't mind walking through the layout today. I do not I can post. I'm happy to post the actual layout. I have a picture of it. Let me find it. And I don't mind passing that thing out because it's helpful. I get a lot of requests every week on video comments and emails. People wanting that layout. Oh, I know what I usually do. I usually do it this way. Softy. I can send a link to the planner. Final, I think this is it right here. Yes, this is it. So, share this. Copy. So if anybody wants to check it out, here is the link to the design of my layout. But yeah, Ancient, I'll get to that sometime here in a little bit. John Albright, do you find the C8 similar to the Ford GT? What brand are we talking about? Carrera? Carrera tires are for show, Cliff, or a few days on the track. Yeah, they just don't seem to hold up real well, and they just never really get grippy. I think you can use tire treatment to improve them. George has talked a lot about that. John Albright's talked a lot about that, just treating tires. But, yeah, I just think that they're too hard of a compound. Steve, did you say Carrera tires? I like my tracks up high and not too large because I feel like I lose touch with what the car is doing when it's too far away from me. Yeah, I can see that. My track's my layout's pretty big. It's 24 feet by 8. This layout is pretty easy to marshal, and that's important. And it's fast and flowy, but it has some technical. The S turns, getting through the S turns quick, are important because you can lose a lot of lap time in that section. So, but it's not too technical. I do not have any R1 turns in this, just so I had good flow, so I could carry a lot of speed through the turns. Let's see. Gloria Chris said hello. I just gave her the Fat Turbo for her birthday, Group C this weekend. Yeah, the Fat Turbo is a great looking car, Steve. I like it. Already talked about Marty. You need a website, probably something I will hook you up with when we meet up. I probably do. You're right. But it's what I do in my day job, taking care of a website. So it's like I don't need another thing to keep updated. My social media, my YouTube channel, but it is what it is. You're probably right. Roll. Let's see. Trying to get something started in neighborhood, but haven't gone out yet. Joined far out, but haven't gone out yet. I was talking to Jim Cunningham today, and he said that the Central Arkansas Racing League, I think is what he called it, is really starting to grow. He's getting about 12 each week, which is awesome. I think Danny maybe has gone over a couple times, Danny Wiley, which is awesome. That's really good to see. And then I had a conversation about the new Omni slot box, the XRM, and Jim was telling me a little bit about why he created that. He was hoping the lower price point would help more guys get to it. And it's a little smaller footprint, so it takes up less space on your table or on a shelf underneath your table. So just had a good conversation with him via email today. He just says there's so much content on YouTube now, he can't keep up with it all. And he can read faster than people can talk. And I'm like, really? I can talk pretty fast, Jim. So, but yeah, I don't know if anybody has ordered that yet. Anybody looking for the Omni slot box. But I think that it saves you a little bit of money. So if you're serious about getting something for your Carrera Digital to be able to run analog, it's probably a really good option right now. So check it out. It's on his website with information. But it's pretty much the same thing, except for it's missing the meters. He pulled some expensive parts out of it so he could cut some cost. So, yeah. Hey, Peter, welcome. Good to have you. Has anyone actually done a test comparison with timing between Paul Gage and Carrera bought tuned? I think that if you're able to run urethane on your track, our experience, the Paul Gage tires, you get them trued, they're much quicker than the Carrera tires. Get more grip. Gladstone, yeah, I would say the only thing about that, I've watched a lot of Johnny Hobby's stuff. He was one of the first channels I discovered when I was looking at slot car tracks and building something of my own. And if you're running magnets in your cars, I think you can make the Carrera tires work fairly well. And then as long as you do that with all your cars, all your Carrera cars, then they will all be competitive with each other. But yeah, as soon as you step on a commercial track, you're dealing, it's just a whole nother animal. So I would agree with that, but I don't invest a bunch of money in my Carrera cars anymore because we run them digital and we run them with magnets. So I usually put a set of silicone tires on them if we can find them, and then go from there. Yeah. What else do we have? Has anyone actually done a test comparison? Okay, I just answered that. Patrick, yep. I would say Paul Gage wins that battle every time. There are lots of people who use Paul Gage tires in the chat. I don't use Paul Gage tires because I don't run urethanes because I run silicone on this track. But, yeah, I think I will make it simple. You will love it. Thanks, Raul. Let's see. What do we have? Peter, that is the link to my current layout. Exactly. So the only thing that's different in that link is I've changed the pit lane. The pit lane comes in on this turn instead of in the straightaway, just to force people to slow down coming in. We have so many accidents coming in to the pit lane when we're running digital. So I was trying to slow people down, just create something interesting. So I've changed that. But the overall layout, yes, that is the layout. Yeah, thanks, Slaughter. Appreciate that, man. Yeah, go see Johnny's. He was in my feed. I didn't get a chance to watch it today. I had a busy day at work, and on my lunch hour is usually when I catch up on some YouTube stuff, because I can't usually during the day. Too much going on. But yeah, I'll catch that video. Watch videos at 2x speed, so we sound like the chipmunks. Alvin. 3Bean, you ordered the axle box. Nice. Did he tell you how long it would take to get in? Because I know I sent Alex a message when he first posted about it, saying, "Hey man, not for him to send me one. I wasn't digging for that. I have a box, but I knew a lot of guys are always asking me how to get a tech slot box, and this was another option for people." And so I wanted the details, and so he sent me some details, and the price is right. I think you don't have to send your CU, but you got to do a little more wiring than you would with a tech slot box. Slot R. I replaced my Carrera chips with that chip in my tech slot box, and I've had 0 issues. Those chips run cooler than the Carrera chips. Don't know why, but they do. And I have 0, and they will actually take a little, I think they'll take a little more voltage. I think it's rated at 19 volts or something like that. But yeah, I've not had any issues or problems. It was a great move. Money switch. Yeah, that's right. You might as well tell her you're joining the Grateful Dead. I just received and set up the original Omni slot box. Gene, nice job on that, by the way. Your video was great, explaining how it works. And then Travis just released a video on how to use the axle box. And I felt bad because I sent him a message and I was like, hey, man, you don't have to put the cars on. because you're not chipping the cars. You're not the chips are now in front of the lane when you turn that box on to analog, and so it doesn't matter what car you put in. You don't have to put it on. You just you program the lane, and once you program the lane, as long as you don't change controllers, you never have to touch it again. So that's the beauty of ours. We just turn it on and go. I felt bad, though. I didn't want him thinking I was correcting him. So I explained myself after I sent the message or the post. But there's a video on my channel where I put Paul Gage tires on a Carrera Capri, San and Sun. Yeah, that's a great comparison. Dave, thanks for mentioning that. I knew that you did that video. That's a great reference. Johnny debunked that tire theory. That's good to know. I'll go check that out. Is me or hard to find slot car kit with metal chassis and body. Ancient. If you're looking for a brand that runs a metal chassis, Revo slots. I don't know if you have one or not, if you're familiar with the brand, but that's what they do. They have aluminum chassis. They're fantastic cars. Here's my Ferrari Revo slot. I don't know if this is what you're actually asking the question, but metal chassis, great car, runs fantastic. It's fun. They're fun to drive. They're a little weighty. They've got let's weigh this versus my tuned Thunder slot. So the Revo slot is 110 grams versus 67 for the Thunder slot. Let's see, do I have another Revo slot? Here's another Revo slot. This is John Mark's Revo slot. It's 99 grams, so it's a little lighter, which is probably why it's a little faster than mine. I probably need to figure out how to lighten my my Ferrari up a little bit. Do I have any more? Dusty, you got yours. That's John Mark's only Revo slot. So my other Revo, my Porsche, is in my box, my pit box. So, Consco slot, are you talking about building your own box? Gladstone, I ran the C8 on wood, non-mag, glued, trued, treated tires, and a few extra grams of weight. DNA, I think that I have the most robust option on the market at Gene. Oh, yeah. You're talking about the Omni slot box. What's up? I'm Mr. Shepherd. How's that? Demienga. I don't want to butcher your name, but welcome, man. Glad to have you. Hey, Travis. I was just talking about you. Were your ears burning? Or were you on when I was talking about, we were talking about the Omni slot box and the Axle box. You did a nice review of that. That was great. Yeah, it's great to have options for guys to be able to run their Carrera digital via analog. So, but welcome, Travis. Glad to have you, man. I know it's late in Austria. You and Dave are up late, but I appreciate you tuning in. Yeah, that was a great comparison. Been watching some of your HO-ish videos, Travis. It's good. It's hard to find metal body plastic with metal body and plastic chassis. Okay. Ooh, I'm not sure. It's a heavy car, not the quickest, and it handled decent enough, but you had to drive it. Finished mid-pack. Marty, Gene, what silicones do you run? I've been running quick slicks on my Carrera track. Gene, we spent a lot of time at Cincy Slots in Cincinnati, Ohio, and Bruce at Cincy Slots has a great relationship with Super Tires. And so we've been running Super Tire on our car because we usually buy a lot of stuff from Bruce, and he keeps a nice inventory of silicone Super Tires. But we have run quick slicks We've run some Paul Gauge. We run regular rubber tires, but we've kind of settled on quick slicks and super tires. And honestly, the last 10 sets of tires or more, probably the last 25 sets of tires that I've purchased have all been super tires. I really like the way they perform. Performance is very close between quick slicks and super tires, but I feel like super tires just get the edge. I've done quite a bit of testing, and I'm able to just be a little quicker, get a little more grip on Carrera plastic with the super tire. My guess is just the compound that they use. So Gene, I hope that answers your question. Gale Force, hey guys. Gale Force, what's next for the channel? I don't know. We talked about what to do for the next 6 months, and I'm just going to keep plugging away, creating content based on what I have in front of me. We'll probably see a lot more of the Pink Pig as I try to get it tuned. I've got the Fat Turbo Group C car I need to get tuned up, and I'll probably make a video about that. I have a Scale Auto, one of the new Porsches coming, the 962s. So it's a white kit. So that is coming. But that takes me to the box that I got today. So let me get through the rest of the comments. But that's Gale Force. That's kind of what I've got coming. I do have a project in front of me. Thanks to one of the subscribers, Lindsay. We had a big conversation last week about, he just had a lot of questions. And so I took some time and responded to his questions, and he did something very, very nice for me. And I'm going to start a scratch build. I've got a lot of stuff I got to get before I can really jump in, but so I might as well get that out. Let's see, what else do we have? Hey, Slaughter, did you get one? Yeah, guys, if you have not subscribed to Dave Slaughter, go out and do it. He is so close to hitting 1,000 subscribers. So let's get him there. That'd be awesome to see that happen tonight. I'm sure that I think he was down to like maybe 10 that he needed. I'm sure there are 10 guys in this live chat that are not subscribed to him. He is a worthy channel. Go subscribe. That would be awesome. Thanks, Gerardo, for mentioning that. Yeah, I don't know about. It's hard to find a slot car kit with metal chassis and plastic body. I mean, other than Revo slot, and they've got the Lexan body, the Flexi chassis. I feel like I'm going backwards in this. So I think Alex is using it in the axle box. He's using the Slot Technic chips, not Carrera chips, based on my conversation with him. So Travis, I think you're going to love that box. It's going to perform really well for you. Just like the Tech Slot box. Identical. Great stuff. Slot Car Dojo, do you run a 124 power supply? I have a variable power supply. So my track is set at 14 volts all the time. And when we run 124 scale, which does not happen very often, I'll bump it up to 18 volts and run 18 volts for the 124 scale because I have an adjustable power supply. But yeah, Joe, I think it's a great alternative for those who can't get a hold of a Tech Slot box. I know Joseph, he's not far from me. He's in Canton, so he's about 3 hours away. And I know that it's just getting inventory, getting chips is tough. And then getting the CUs to install the Tech Slot box. It's just, it's a pretty expensive device to produce when you go to that level. And so he had some inventory, and as he gets through his inventory, he releases a few every so often on his Facebook page. But yeah, Alex has got an option, which is great to see. And if you want to know more about that, go to Travis's video. It's great. We need a big race event like a festival of racing or race and drive on Carrera Track. Let's face it, maybe everyone would show up and have fun because the setup we all have. So Steve, so going back to my channel partner, Rost Coffee, the coffee shop is a big place, and they're closed on Sundays. And he has offered to let me come in and build a layout and host a race day at the coffee shop here in Chillicothe, and just invite people from all over to come in and just have a fun day. Have some racing for people who just show up, have a small track set up that they can play on, and then have a large layout to run some races. And we've just not been able to lock in some dates and times and that work for us. It was something that we were trying to do for like April, May timeframe, and we just had some things happen that just prevented that conversation from continuing. So I'm working on some things. If other people have ideas, I've had a conversation with, oh my gosh, I'm going to forget his name. I apologize if you're in the chat. It's been so long ago. He's in Canada. It'll come to me. He does events for the industry that he works in, and basically said that he would help me put something together. So I think there's a lot of people that would like to see something like this happen. I think that we need our own UK Slot Fest. Dave Kennedy talks a lot about how he doesn't think it would work in the United States because people have tried and it's failed, or it fizzled out just because of the travel. In Europe, in the UK, you've got so many people in the hobby that are so close there. But I think you're right. I would love to figure out how to host something, even if it's like hosting it at, if Bruce hosted it at Cincy Slots, or we set up something in Cincinnati or Indianapolis, or something that makes sense that is pretty centralized to a lot of people. Maybe we could create our own version of that for, the East Coast, the Midwest. Marco already does stuff like that at Electric Dreams in LA. But it's just hard for the rest of the country to get to Los Angeles for stuff like that. So I think it needs to be more centrally located. The one thing about Ohio that people don't realize, we are about a 12-hour drive from 80% of the population in the United States. So that's why we have tons of warehouses in Ohio. Lots of things get shipped from here. Amazon has a gigantic facilities here in Columbus, and so it does make sense to do something close. Wild Man, I ordered the axle box Saturday. I think he told me it would be done Sunday. Oh, that's fantastic. Question: if you run a 124 Carrera power supply, what's the voltage at the rails supposed to be? Oh, that's a good question. I would have to get my voltmeter out and test it. I think that you do get some drop off. So if you're running a Carrera 124 power supply, I think that's an 18.6 volts, if I'm not mistaken, because I think the regular one is 14.4. But 18.6, and you're probably just under 18 at the rail. Close. I don't know if somebody else knows that answer. In kit form, Revo slots, I don't know if you can get white kits of Revo slots. Maybe you can. I don't think I've ever seen them. Barbecue and good times running cars and racing as well. Yeah, Steve, that I agree. I think we just make a day of it and have some fun, and I think it would be pretty easy to do. Where was it at? BRM also runs metal chassis. They are Revo Slots parent company. Yeah, BRM is 124 scale. Revo is 132nd. Yep, Travis, he's got it right. Looking at 50s Powder Blue Studebaker Champion. First time I've ever seen one in real life, at least. That's cool. I think you're right. Let's make it happen. I thought if we got some people to gather in August, that we could just have our own little thing here here. You know, Raul and Massimo were considering coming down, and George was considering coming up. If something like that does happen, it would be great to plan it around those guys making it in. But maybe we might need more time to plan an event like that. But sometimes the best events are the ones that are just on a whim, right? So you all prefer the silicone to quality rubber? Peter, I think it's just the reason why we went silicone is because the club that we race in at Cincy Slots runs silicone. So we can tune our cars here on my track and not have to change out tires and retune when we get to the club. So that's the reason why we made the decision to go to silicone. If we weren't racing at a club someplace and they were or if they were racing rubber, we would be racing rubber here. So I think it just falls in line where we find ourselves racing most of the time. So that's really the decision. I'm not sure that it's a preference outside of, it's just what's convenient. It makes the most sense. I've actually started removing some of my chips to put the cars back to analog. De Leon, I have removed all of my chips out of non-Carrera cars. I really want to create a good digital car from one of my analog cars, but I've got maybe 3 or 4 chips laying here. I've done the same thing. Yeah, you want a 124 metal chassis, you can't go past BRM. I did a video today showing the new chassis. Oh, nice DNA. Yeah, I saw that video. I figured I'd catch up with it tonight. Watch it while I'm watching the All-Star game. Wow, man, you're a silicone tire guy. Yeah, I really like them. They get great grip. You just have to clean them a lot, and that's what John Albright gives me a hard time about. Hobbit, welcome, man. Glad to have you. Good to see you, Tony. Thank you. Thanks for being here. Cool with a K. It's 1:37 a.m. Man, thanks for hanging out. I know that's tough to stay up this late. Patrick, Thunderslot, I finally got one that was worth a blip. The Lola T70 Miller beer scheme. Whoa, Patrick, did you pay a pretty penny for that? That car's hard to find, and when you do find them, they're like $199. So, yeah. Yeah, Dusty, you're right. There are quicker cars for sure, but once the Revos settle in, John is right. We love racing the Revo slots. And I think next Tuesday, I'll go ahead and say this, next Tuesday, the live stream is going to be a small race night. Our buddy Daryl, I think, is going to make it his way up from Cincinnati. And Dusty and hopefully John Mark and myself, and we'll have a little 4-person race night televised on the live stream. I hope it's okay that I announce that. That's our goal. And I think Revo slots is one of the classes we're going to run. So we haven't really decided, but maybe we run fly cars, since I've got a handful of fly cars all tuned and Daryl does too. And then everybody just pick their favorite fly car and run 2 races, each from each lane. And then maybe we run a Revo slot race, and depending on how much time we have. But that's kind of the plan for next week. So, see you, Travis. Thanks, man. Appreciate you for hanging out. It means a lot. Let's go. Let's see. Hobbit. I have 1 pair of super tire silicone on my Scaly Camaro. I like to try more, especially if Quick Slicks is going away with firm compound. I think that it's interesting. I've used the firm and the extra firm Quick Slick, and I really don't tell much of a difference on my track. But again, I'm not a great racer, so maybe other people would feel the difference. I think we got that from you, Steve. Hobbit, can't wait for the lake pour. Oh yeah, Scott, that's a good point. That will be good to watch that. Many of my Revo slots are very noisy, no amount of padding. The body mounts seem to make a difference, but I love them. De Leon, I basically use black Gorilla tape and basically create and sandwich a piece of that tape on all 4 of the chassis mounts, and it's night and day difference. Just remember that you need to put some thread lock, the lightweight thread lock. The last time I mentioned that, everybody ate me up in the chat. Nail polish or something on those threads so that those brass washers or nuts don't back out of the screws. But I know a lot of guys use O-rings as well, so the chassis can still move, but it'll dampen some of that noise. And then, yeah, that was all I did. No tape, but it really does quiet that chassis. Hey, thanks, Patrick. Appreciate that. Thanks, Dojo. You might not be talking about my channel. You're probably talking about somebody else's channel, but maybe Travis's. That's right, 3Bean. Exactly, Danny. Or Dan. Dave wants to open his present for 1,000. Yes, Greg, he does. He's so close. But Abby won't let him. She won't let him open it until he hits 1,000. So I'm excited to see what it is. I'm guessing it's a Revo slot. I mean, come on. It's slot R, right? Oh, 6 to go. Nice. Hey, Reese, welcome. Glad to have you, man. John Bacon. Bro, I miss you, man. I hope you're doing well. Thanks for tuning in tonight. I know you're a busy man. You drive a lot. But it's good to have you. Good to have you. Miss our talks. We'll catch up soon. Promise. Dave is soaking in the love. Daryl. Thanks, Daryl, for subscribing. Can't wait to see Slaughter go 2-story on his car park. I can't wait to see his pit lane. He's got some plans for that. Ooh, maybe I spoiled that. Sorry, Slaughter, if I did. We've had a lot of conversations. I can't remember if you've talked about that or not. PRS Slot is a Spanish company making great aluminum chassis for Carrera electric bodies. Sean, I did not know that. I'll have to check them out. Dave hit 1,000 during the live stream. Yes! Congratulations, Dave. That's awesome. That's fantastic. Now he gets to open it up. Canada has one dude. USA is too large. Ancient, it's just so long. So it's such a long way to travel to go. If you have it in New York, if you have it in LA, you have it in somewhere in the Midwest is really your only shot, I think, of getting as many people as possible. It's just a long drive for people. So you'd have to do regionally, and you don't get vendors, you don't get any of the companies to jump in. Ohio is also a valley. Midwest Monster Race, Marty. Oh, yeah. When is that, Wildman? Wildman, you're in Indiana. Is that right? Evansville? Yeah, Slot Journal, we've talked a little bit about this, I think. Yeah, start conservatively and build over time. A portable track in the making. Actually, yes, John. We'll have to talk about my ideas sometime. I need to bounce it off of you, but yeah, I would like to create some type of travel layout that is easy to put back together and take apart and easy to manage. Thanks, Consco. Appreciate it. Billy, good to have you, man. Or is this Amanda? Thanks for joining tonight. Let me get to my package. Sorry, that sounded really weird. So, this box comes to me from Lindsay. And a big shout out, thank you. Inside the box, there were 2 packages. One I was expecting, the other one I think it was a surprise, which I thought was pretty cool. So one of them is the Ghost Sounds of Slots. The sound, the music, and language of slot car racing, America's newest hobby. So it's a CD of music about slot cars. Lotus 23, Fastest Little Racer, My Ferrari GTO, Wait Till Next Time, Slot City, My Little Slot Coupe, Cobra, My Baby Digs Slot Car Races. I can't wait to listen to that one. Little Stalkers, The Restless Rookie, School is a Gas, Honda Beach. Be jealous, fellas. I'll give this a listen and let you know how it goes. So thanks, Lindsay. This is awesome. That's fun. And then I think I shared this with George that it might be coming. But this is going to be, who asked about what's up for the channel? Peter. So this is a Revell Lotus 23 racing body, 124 scale. So this will be one of my first scratch builds. Now the story is that Lindsay, when he was 13 years old, bought this new in a slot car store in Sicily, Italy. And his parents didn't let him finish it because they didn't think slot cars were going to take off. And he has owned it ever since and has never opened it. The body is still in the plastic. And he sent it to me in hopes that I would build a slot car. I don't know if Lindsay's paying attention tonight, but he's right. The plastic bag is still sealed. 124 scale body, and we are going to build us a slot car. I think the old Lotus is fantastic. I think I'll pay homage to the decal kit that comes with it, and so I'll paint it white. And number 19. For some of you who don't know me, my brother knows me well enough to know that the number 19 is my favorite number. It's what I wore in soccer. It's what I wore in baseball most of my life. Mainly because all the fat kids, the high numbers in Little League were all the fat kids. But anyway, so number 19. So this will be our first one. So I need to decide what type of chassis I'm going to build. Am I going to scratch build that chassis? Am I going to buy a H&R chassis to put underneath of it? The one thing is I think that this Lotus needs to be a quick car. So I want to build a chassis worthy of the Lotus and make it a quick slot car. And what I would really like to do is close your ears, Lindsay. I would like to build this and then send it back to Lindsay, because he never got to build it, so I want to do it justice. So George, Harry, Shotgun Dave, any of you guys watching, any ideas on Jim Cunningham? Any ideas on what type of chassis I should put underneath this? I'm all ears. Send me some pictures that you think would make for a great chassis, and this will be one of my first scratch builds. So, Lindsay, thank you. I'm honored that you wanted to send that to me, and I'll be proud to build a slot car. And if it's my first scratch build, I'll give it my best shot. Just swap the rear axle with a 911 RSR for the KTM. There you go. Wild man, you're in. That's cool. Marty, Slot Car Festival would be good. We had one in Melbourne this year. Yeah, Reese, I meant to ask you about that. I know you had mentioned that you were going and on the live stream in the chat, and I never got back to you to ask you how that went. If there were a lot of, like, was there a swap meet where you had an opportunity to buy slot cars? Was it a lot of HO? Was it 1/32nd scale, 1/24th, or all scales? I'm curious to know how that went. Yeah, Peter, I have one BRM 1/24 scale, but it's an older. It's the plastic chassis. So my plan is to maybe grab one of the new ones. Gary, yeah, it's about right. 18.6. Thanks, Gary. I appreciate that. Curvy Road. Raul, could you put the link up to the location site? Hopefully Raul did that. Frankie Tomatoes. Told to grab Paul Gage silicone for my Expo. Gotcha. Yeah, I think that they do have a tire that will fit the Expo, or the Crossbow, whatever it is. TTS is another metal chassis car in the BRM family. Nice. Hey, Eric. Welcome. You're not too late, but we are an hour in, and I'm glad to have you. Might pick up a Mustang to run with it. Is that one of the new Mustangs? Makes perfect sense, Marty. Gotcha. Hey, Greg. Welcome. Let's see here. Where are we at? Race night. Ancient, are you talking about my race night next Tuesday? Yeah. So I want to try to figure out how I can best cover it with maybe a couple cameras and put both camera views on, so that we can run, and I'll probably move my computer so I can communicate and keep up with the live chat, yet still kind of manage the races and keep it moving. So no, I break on the price, so I bought it in the GT40 1/24th scale. Ah, gotcha. DNA, can you link to that video? Dusty can race the Jeep. I get you, Raul. I am waiting on track pieces to complete the track. Chris, I have a lot more work to do on my Revo slot. I have a lot of luck with it currently. Chris, talk to me offline. I've got mine running really well. I don't know which Revo slot you have, but I think Dusty and John Mark have theirs running even better than mine. So I might be able to help you with getting that thing tuned up. Billy just got me all the missing pieces for my track, so it should be fully operational. Way to go, Billy. Billy's the man. John can race the Bird Poop GT1. I'm going to show it, and you can't unsee it. Porsche, that livery. What's it look like on the back tail of that thing? It looks like a bird pooped on it. That's so funny. John, you wanna join in on the race night? I might get a pink pig if it was an actual 91720. As a 917K with a pink pig livery, I think I'll hold off. So, Slot Journal. You are very much who I was thinking about when I talked about that in my video. That the fact that it wasn't a 91720, that there would be people out there that wouldn't want to get it. I'm telling you, it's a great car. It looks fantastic. But you're right. Somebody other than Le Mans Miniatures needs to make a 91720. I know it's a new mold. There's not a lot of liveries that you can do that car in. The pink pig is about the only one. So, Chris, I saw a blog on Quick Slick F and XF compound, and the time showed that there was a couple of hundredths of second difference in time of a number of laps. Yeah, that makes sense, but those compounds are so close. I don't know. I used to put some flammable fluid on my Cox Super Scale slot car rear wheels and take off, and I'd have flaming track like Back to the Future. Hey, Chris, welcome. Glad to have you, man. Uh, De Leon, there are things you can do to quiet Revos down. The tire truing is the first. Yeah, I think because we swap out to silicones, that is a big help. But truing those front tires will help with some of the noise as well. There we go. Yes, I'm busier than a one in a bucket contest. That's awesome. I'm skipping forward because I'm behind guys on the chat, so I apologize. Scott Marty, I can come down from Akron if you need someone to marshal a race. Scott, yeah, you won't be coming down just to marshal. If you drive down, you're bringing cars and you're racing. That's what it'll be about. It'll be about having fun. Hey, that might be the fingers right there, Gloria. Thanks, Dusty. Appreciate that. Yeah, if you want to get your coffee from my buddy Trent at Roast Coffee, I'll be giving a bag of coffee away like every week. So make sure you put coffee in the chat. Lindsay, thank you, man. I really appreciate it. It looks awesome. I can't wait to get started on this. I'm probably going to need some help from some guys, but we'll make it happen. But thanks for jumping in. I really do appreciate it. Yeah, Chris, it will be an interesting choice for the first build. I just want to do it justice. Marty, make a silicone mold of that Lotus. Gene, that is actually a great idea. I need to get with Shotgun Dave. I'll reach out to him. He's got videos on it, but that's actually a great idea. Marty, make sure you use decal film on those decals before you put them in the water or they'll disintegrate. Oh, the original just because they're so old. I think I can find a new decal set for this. I was looking around. I think I can recreate it. There's not a lot going on the car. Mostly it's just the number, and then like the taillights and headlights are all decals. So I might be better off. But yeah, De Leon, thanks for the tip. Yeah, thanks, Frankie. Scott, ooh, that's a good idea. That's actually a really good idea. I didn't even think about that. Open this thing back up. It'd be awesome to set it on a Thunder slot or a NSR chassis or something that would match up with the wheelbase. Let's see here. The Thunder slot is not quite long enough. The Pink Pig is not long enough wheelbase. Wow. This will take a pretty long chassis. The Revo slot would work. Yeah, I'll have to start doing some measuring and find my the Mosler's close. Yeah, I don't know. Would have to do some modifications, but that's actually a great idea. But maybe I just build one from scratch. Oh yeah, thanks, Dusty. That's why it's not matching up. It is a 1/24 scale, but it's a small car. The Lotus is. So the car, it's a 1/24 scale car, but it matches up perfect with the McLaren chassis. the NSR McLaren. So that might be an option. But then that really wouldn't do a brass chassis. I just built my first one, and it runs very well, much better than the H&R chassis that I tried first. Thanks, Greg. I was going to ask about that. I've not used any of those. Number 19. That's right. Yep, it's my favorite number, man. Let me see, which car do I have that's number 19? I already have a car that's a number 19. Where is it? Oh, it's over in my box. Hey, Moondoggy. Welcome. Clean the tires. Revo slot Ferrari F40. Chris, the F40 is an interesting car. Our friend Jamie from Cincinnati, he talks about how he's just never been able to drive it and get it tuned the way he likes to drive a car. So I've heard a few people talk about that. And then John Albright, I think he's got his screaming around the track. So they're tunable, man. We can talk about it. We can figure it out. Funny, now I have a Porsche 908 that has a real burn bib on it. Yeah, Hobbit. Yeah, just using the Gorilla Tape, it does quiet the chassis down quite a bit. Richie, hi Marty. I live vicariously through you. I haven't set up or ran my cars for a year and a half. Thank you, Richie. Get the cars out, man. I would say that you haven't gotten them out just because you have to set up a track, and I know that's kind of work for space. I'm looking for a 124 or 125 body of an 86 or 87 C4 Corvette. Good to know, Greg. Check eBay. I was looking for a 1970 to 72 Ford Maverick, and I found one out there. So if it's out there, it's probably out there. Yeah, Steve, that's true. That's what we've all heard. Marty, did you not make that pink pig in 124 scale too? They did not. It's an NSR. NSR doesn't do 124 scale. Yeah, Chris, I would bounce some questions off of John. He can tune a car, man. Curvy, gotcha, man. Thanks. Scott, yeah, Scott's in Ohio too. Chris is in Ohio. Dusty, we need a bourbon sponsor. I'll work on that. Dusty, maybe you need to work on that. Patrick, did you get your coffee? Patrick was our winner last week, 2 weeks ago. Trent sent me a message to make sure that you got it. So if you haven't gotten it, let me know. We've had coffee delivered to the wrong address. Some of these guys have won coffee and their neighbors got the free coffee. So we'll make sure you got it. Do hot slot cars still smell as good as in 1975? So here's the thing. The 1/32 scale motors don't seem to do that like HO. The HO motors are what I remember the smell. But I don't seem to get that with the 1/32 and 124 scale. I recently completed my collection of Corvette Generations. I will check to see what year C4 I got. That's cool, Gladstone. Thanks. Dusty, after last Friday night, I need a bourbon sponsor too. A big dent is put in my stock. Isn't there a carbon fiber filament mix for 3D printers? Billy, I would talk to Danny about that. Dick's Slot Car Garage, right? He is doing some 3D printing of bodies that is amazing. Like, he has really figured it out. But yes, Gloria, coffee smells so good. Raul, with all the stuff you have, you can't make one. That's funny. Vintage commercial type 124 slot car bodies were all over the place. So what you're saying is we don't really need to to make a copy of that body. I need one so I can reverse engineer it. I'll check eBay again in the morning. Yeah, no problem, Greg. There's dispensaries everywhere. It probably wouldn't be that hard. I don't have the inside space for my slot car track, so I set it up in the backyard, up to 5 tables, thanks to a donation table. Nice. That's funny. Roast coffee, dang roll. That's tempting. Yeah, good luck getting Dusty on your live stream. If you won't come on my live stream, you better not come on Raul's. Slot journal. Yes, Billy, you're right. Yeah, you would get arrested. Would not recommend duct tape on the bottom of a metal chassis. It leaves a mess behind, especially if it's been there a while. Yeah. I think mine is the black, like electrical tape, which probably still will leave some kind of residue. Plastic chassis, for that matter, as well. Yeah. So yeah, man, this is pretty cool stuff. Really cool. That will be a fun car. So we'll get it painted. I'll pick up some paint this week. It's going to, the paint job's not going to be fancy because I want to keep it true to the original. The original was just all white. But Marty's not offering bourbon. It's too rich for my blood, man. Who sells track skirts? Here's the thing, De Leon. Every place I've seen them, it's sold out. So Slot Car Corner has it. Professor Motor has it, I think. I've seen it in those two places. And they had a few different versions, NSR, Polycar. I've not been able to see Carrera. I've not found it anywhere. But usually it's all sold out. I've not been able to find it in stock. So I basically took black fabric and created my own on the one side, on that side, that I had left over from a other project. It would be that's funny. Has anybody else got the new NSR Aston Martin F1 car? Patrick. I think that Bruce released a video from Cincy Slots on Sunday, and I think that he had a couple of different NSR F1 cars. So but he showed off 2 NSR F1 cars. I think one was an older, the 86 to 89, and then one was the newer 2022 version. So, but I don't know if it was the Aston Martin. I can't remember. I got my table skirts from Fabricland. Yeah. It's pretty easy. I mean, you can get like checkered flag plastic skirting from Party City if you have one of those nearby. They're like table skirts, and you just cut them and staple them up. Pretty easy. Yes, I bought it in the boxes somewhere in the U.S. Curvy, that's a good idea. Automotive flags. DNA has one. There you go. Gladstone, his C4, Greg, is a 9501. Wild man. I just, with the table skirt, you can hide stuff underneath of it. I don't have anything under mine. Finn, my dog, likes to get under there and walk around and lay and come out with dust bunnies all over him. Yeah, as I'll say, you can get the checkered flag stuff at Joann's too, but at Party City, it's pretty cheap, but it's plastic. so it won't last as long as the fabric. I don't really have a car to run like last week on the track, but we did talk about a walkthrough, right? Let me fire up my phone. Let's see here. Let me fire that up. Camera hub. So I can see this on my phone. And then I'll go to cam. There we go. Okay. So I'm going to switch cameras, guys, over to and do a walkthrough of my track real quick. And then we'll wrap it up for the night. It's almost 9:30. Track cam? Nope. Phone cam. There we go. You can see how messy I am here. Hang on. There we go. Okay, I think I have the other microphone up too. Okay, guys, hopefully you can hear me. I'll just do a quick walkthrough of my track. Again, my layout. Let me see. Let's try that. So here's the start-finish line for digital. And you can see how we've got the pit lane set up. I'm coming in off that corner. But over here on that pole is my timer for, I use Smart Race in analog mode when we run analog mode. So I have the tech slot box. Can I grab this microphone? Oh, no, I've got tape on it. Okay. So short straight here with the pit lane. And we're into a 330, 230 turn. It's kind of a cotter pin shape. It's really a tricky turn. And you got this little kink into this short chute inside. And then you go up underneath the bridge. And that turn under the bridge is a 330 and then exits out as a 415 turn. And then we'll take a shot down the back stretch. Take them around 415s into about a 19-foot straightaway. Got a couple lane changers, but this is the start-finish line because there's the timer right here. So hopefully you can still hear me. So the back stretch into a 230 turn. Little short chute into the Rob Snyder Memorial turn. There's a funny story about that. And then you go through the S turns, which is probably my favorite part of the track. I really like going through the S's. It's a lot of fun. You can either pick up time or you can lose time. So just my fly cars, because they're a little underpowered, really get through the S turns great. But they just lose out in the long straights just because they don't have enough motor. And it's funny how we can get those fly cars around the track fast enough that you can make up time on some of the faster cars in the S turns just because you get through there so fast. So that's kind of a make or break part of the layout. And then here on this end, the little shoot into a 230 turn back into this front straight. So pretty flowy. Again, 24 feet by 8 feet. So there you go. Oh, my golf box. Well, that golf box, hang on. Right over there. I'll hang on here. Let me change that view. Is not my golf box. That is John Mark's golf box. So he's here to load. He needs to load up all of his shelf worth of cars in there. Rob Snyder. Our buddy Rob, it's a good friend of mine, came over for the first time a couple months ago, and he struggled with that turn. And the car's not here. John Mark let him race his C8 Carrera Corvette. We were racing digitally, and it's SNYDER. And he wrecked probably every lap in that turn and practically destroyed that Corvette. It was beat up pretty good, and so we jokingly named it the Rob Snyder Memorial Turn, and that's why I painted the curbing on it. Eventually, I will do that to most of the turns, and put some more curbing because I really like the look of it. But that's the reason why I painted that one up, because that one we were just giving my buddy Rob a hard time. I'll have to look at mine. I received 10 cars that day, so I haven't really looked at it properly. DNA, I couldn't believe how bad they missed the color, like ordering a red Ferrari and getting a pink car. I'm not sure what car you guys are talking about. You saw the golf box too. Yeah, John Mark ordered that, I think off of Facebook maybe, and got it a few weeks ago and dropped it off here. And so we just need to put his cars in it. And that'll be what he travels back and forth in. So, yeah, the golf box is sweet. So I actually have my little fridge here at the track is that color. And I'm going to get some stickers and make my refrigerator the golf livery. So, yeah, Chris, it was a little expensive, I think, for John Mark to get that box shipped over here. But they were on, I think, some of the slot car Facebook pages. They were posted. Let's see here. What did Patrick? No forced lane changes. I don't really like those. But we have lane changers. They're all digital. But of course, when I run an analog, none of the lane changers work. So, but no forced lane changes. Don't like them. Yeah. Anyway, let's see here. I think that hits most of the questions, guys. Guys, this has been fun. Wobble to Greg. Do I have wobble pops in my little fridge? Right now, I've got bottled water and diet green tea. So nothing too exciting. I apologize for that. Daryl, I don't think you'll have a problem, Daryl. I think you'll be fine. That's funny. So, guys, this has been great. Thanks for tuning in this week. I don't feel like we didn't accomplish much, but the conversation was great. I really enjoyed it. Shout out to Lindsay again. Thank you, Lindsay. I'll take good care of the body. We'll get it made up, and hopefully it won't take me forever. We'll get a chassis underneath of it, and then we'll show it off here on the track. So, guys, DNA, it's been emotional. Good stuff, guys. Thanks Thanks for joining in, and we will see you guys all next week. Go have some fun racing.